Alright guys, so we are looking at solar system this week, and on Monday I read that to you and we went through the whole passage. It's a very lengthy passage, so I'm not going to read it again, but you have that with you so you can look at it. We are going to refer back to it to answer the questions. So on Monday we answered question 1. So today let's look at question 2. Question 2 says, which quote from the text best supports the statement that people and other living things cannot survive on Venus? So I'm looking at people cannot survive on Venus, okay? So when I look at the quote, Venus has volcanoes, sand, and mountains like Earth, does that quote tell me that people cannot survive on Venus? I don't think that it does, because it's actually comparing it to Earth, and people can survive on Earth. Looking at B, it says it is much too hot to sustain human life. That word right there, sustain, means be able to carry or keep it going. So I think that this looks promising, but you know how I am. I put a question mark because I got to check all 4 answers out. All right, and then C, with a very thick atmosphere. Nothing about a very thick atmosphere tells me that people cannot survive on Venus. So I don't think that that's going to be my answer. And then the last one says, none of the above, living things can survive on Venus. Well, living things cannot survive on Venus. The passage says that it is too hot to sustain human life, meaning it is too hot for people to actually live there. So my answer for number 2 is B. Then I come down to number 3. What evidence from the text supports the idea that the sun is the most important object in our solar system? All right, so I'm going to start by what evidence from the text supports the idea that, I'm going to start here, the sun is the most important object in my solar system, because that is the statement that I need to start with. So I'm going to say the sun is the most important object in the solar system. Now I've got to find from my passage why. Why is the sun the most important object in our solar system? So if you turn back to the passage and you look right here under other parts of the solar system, that first paragraph is all about the sun. So if you come here, it says the sun is a star, not unlike the other stars that you see in the night sky. Well, that's nothing special to me that tells me that the sun is the most important thing in our solar system. All right, so let's go to the next one. However, the sun is the only star in our solar system, and it is what the planets orbit around. Without the sun, there would be no solar system. To me, that sounds pretty important. So I'm going to say, however, the sun is the only star in our solar system and is what the planets orbit around. Without the sun, there would be no solar system. So I'm going to kind of take that and put that into my own words. And I'm going to go back and say that the sun is the most important object in the solar system because it is the center of our solar system. And all planets in our solar system, and the word that it used was orbit around the sun. Now, I also really liked that last sentence there because it told me a little bit more information, and it said without the sun, there would be no solar system. So I kind of feel like that makes it pretty important. So I'm going to also add that and say without the sun, there would be no solar system. So, I have restated, I have answered. My answer has things that come directly from the text, and I've given a little bit of my own explanation or put it into my own words a little bit. So here I have successfully used the RACE method. Now, I'm going to go to the last page that we were looking at this week, and that is using context clues to determine the meaning of the underlined word. Write your own sentence using the underlined word. So, we look at number 2 today. Number 2 says, I invited the entire class to my New Year's Eve party because I didn't want to exclude anyone. So, the key thing is I invited the entire class because I didn't want to exclude anyone. So exclude here is going to mean, I feel like it's going to mean something to the effect of not include. Alright, so let me see how that sounds. I invited the entire class to my New Year's Eve party because I didn't want to not include anyone. So exclude means to not include, or I could even say leave out. Okay? Now, to use that in a sentence, I could say we didn't want to exclude grammar from our lesson. Sorry. So we went over our language review because we didn't want to leave our grammar out. All right? And then number 3, I told my aunt that I would babysit her kids tonight because she compensates me so well. She pays me $10 per hour. So I'm going to use my strategy where I leave that out and see what I can use in place of it to still make sense. I told my aunt that I would babysit her kids tonight because she blanked me so well. She pays me $10 per hour. I think compensate means to pay. Okay? So my sentence would be, if you will take out the garbage, comma, I will compensate you for it. Okay? So that means you take out the garbage, I will pay you for it. How do I pay y'all for taking out my garbage? I pay you in chocolate. All right, guys, have a good day.